it's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for the book cover telephone tag. So the general idea behind this is it's kind of like a game of telephone in that you are matching book covers to other book covers, and you kind of go down the line of different book covers, and whatever you started with gives you kind of the hint to what the next one's going to be, and so on until what you end with, in theory, is nothing like the one that you started with. So that's what I'm going to do today. This is a tag. I was tagged by Paige from Pages with Paige, so thank you so much, Paige, for tagging me in the tag. It was created by Reading Riley. I will link Reading Riley's channel as well as Paige's channel in the description below. You can go and check them out, subscribe to the channels, all of those things. I will also be tagging some people at the end of the video as well, so all of their information is listed down below. You can go and check them out and subscribe to them as well. So, the way that it's supposed to work, or the way that Paige did it, is that whatever she ended with, whatever book cover she ended with, you use that as your starting point, and then you continue your telephone tag with that book, and then you pick a book that looks like it, and so on. I'm not going to go into any detail about the books other than to say the name of the book and to say who wrote the book, but I will kind of give you an idea as to what I was seeing and why I was comparing the two. You don't have to, when you do the tag, if you do the tag, for some reason I decided that I was going to only pick books that I have read and that I own physically. I don't know why, that's just what I decided to go with. Anyway, let's just dive in and do this telephone tag. So what Paige finished on was Tess of the Road by Rachel Hartman. The image is on screen. I have not read the book, don't own it. I don't think I'd even heard of it at the point where I saw this video, but this is the cover that I have to use to inspire the cover I'm going to pick. So as you can see, this cover has silhouette, the dragon, and the dragon's kind of as though it was hovering, and it's leaning its head sort of downwards, and looks like it's kind of almost talking to two figures that are standing there in front of it. And then in the background, in the silhouette, is a city. I have decided to use the element of the dragon, and particularly the position that the dragon is in, and the book that I have gone with is Esme's Gift by Elizabeth Foster. So as you can see, the dragon is in a very similar position. It's kind of hovering in the air, and its head is kind of leaning downwards, and it's talking to a person that is standing in front of it. So that's the book that I'm starting with. I think it fits really, really well. Different colours, of course, but it's still got some of the blues, so not completely different. The book that I'm going to bounce off of this one onto is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. So as you can see, this one also has a dragon. The colours are kind of inverse of each other, so as you can see as well, this one here has a red dragon with a kind of bluish background. This one has a blue dragon with an orangey red background. The dragons are not in the same position, but they're still looking down at things below them, so I feel like there's a little bit of similarity there as well. But yeah, I'm mostly using the dragon and the colours from this one, Esme's Gift, to move me into The Priory of the Orange Tree. From The Priory of the Orange Tree, I am going to take the city in the background there, and also the way that the dragon is kind of looking down towards the city, and I am going to leap from there to Bitter Blue by Kristen Cashaw. So this one I've gone with the element of the city kind of in the background. So as you can see there, it's a bit hard to see, but there's a city in the background just here. And then we have a person this time instead of a dragon, who is kind of looking down as though they're looking towards the city. And it does have similar colouring. The person is in kind of a blue cloak and the dragon is blue. So I feel like that one works really well as well. Then I'm going from Bitter Blue, and I'm bouncing off of the fact that you have got this young woman whose face is obscured, and I am going from there to The Interrogation of a Charlotte Wolf by Amberlynn Coy-Molina. So this isn't so much that the face is obscured, but you can only see some of the face because of the way it is positioned on the page, and also lots of shadow on the face as well, which I think is fairly similar to that as well. So just taking that aspect of young woman on the front cover in the foreground with an obscured face. So that's where I'm going with that one. And then from a Charlotte Wolf, I am taking the colour palette, and from there I'm going to An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. So as you can see, they both have quite kind of similar brown orangey type of covers with quite a bit of dark black as well going on. So I think they have a very similar colour palette. This one of course has a cat in fire on it, whereas this is a person, but like I said, I think it's the colour palette that you can really see the similarities. Also, the writing is in white as well, which I think is quite similar. Yeah, that's where I'm going with that one. So from An Ember in the Ashes, I am taking the element of there being an animal front and center on the cover, and I'm taking that to lead me to Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. And as you can see, there is an animal front and center. It's a little bit less obvious in the cover of this one than it is this one. This is taking up a really large portion of the cover, whereas this is quite small in the front there, but it is definitely a kind of main focal point, and the sort of got an inverse of the colours of each other. So this one's got the white writing and the white sword, but an overall quite kind of reddy orange browny background, whereas this one's got the white cover with the orange writing. So that's sort of a similarity as well. All right, and then from Station 11, I'm taking again the animal, so the animal being kind of front and centre and being a fairly important focal point, and from there I'm going to The Yield by Tara June Winch, and again it is the animals. So this has got a bunch of different birds. This one's only got the one animal on the cover, whereas this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 birds, but again it's animals in the middle of doing something and being a fairly big focal point. So this one has, I guess it's kind of a sunset in the background, whereas this one's got the cityscape behind it, but then mostly it's white. But yeah, the animals are the kind of focal point of the cover. And again, this one has the orange title, and this one has the kind of orangey red title as well. So that's a colour palette that works as well there. So then from The Yield, again, I'm taking the colour palette, so the kind of reds, yellows, orangey colours, and I'm going to A Long Way Down by Nick Hornby. So it's, like I said, the colour palette in the background, where you've got here all the kind of reddy, orangey colour, and then the A Long Way Down is written in a kind of orange colour as well. These birds are kind of, I guess, quite dark as well, so that kind of works in with the dark silhouette of the houses in this one. So that's that. And then from A Long Way Down, I'm taking the city. So these buildings here in the background are the city, and from there I'm going to Every Word by Ellie Marnie, which has the hints of a city in the background, and in particular I know that this takes place in London, and quite a bit of this takes place in London, and you can see that there is Big Ben in the background there. So that's where I'm going with that, because it is in fact the same place. So that's that one. And then finally, from Every Breath, Every Word even, I am taking the people front and centre on the cover, and I'm going to With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo, because as you can see it has a person in the foreground and is the kind of the main focal point of the cover as well. So that's that one, and that is where I am ending this telephone tag. So the people that I'm about to talk about, who I'm going to tag in this tag, you don't have to, you could pick any book you want really, but this is the book that I am giving you to bounce off of to come up with some books yourself. So we have a bunch of different things that you could go with. You could go with person kind of being front and center, you could go with plants or fruits around the side, go with the color palette, But yeah, or whatever you want. So this is my book that I'm finishing on. And the people I'm going to tag to do this are Rye from Rye's Reading Corner, Nat from Nerdy Nat Reads, Eric from Break Even Books, Amber from Books of Amber, and Sash from Sash Reads. So you guys are all tagged and challenged to start out with the Fire on High. But yeah, that's it from me today. Please comment below if you have any thoughts on any of the books that I held up for you, any other choices you would have made. If you would like to do the tag and I haven't tagged you, please do the tag and let me know you've done it so that I can have a look at what you've done. If you'd like to leave me a comment that you don't know what, then leave me some kind of fruit emoji, because this book that I ended with has lots of fruit floating around on the cover. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.